The internet, that glorious bastion of free speech and cat videos, can also be a breeding ground for something far less adorable: misinformation. It's a place where the line between fact and fiction often blurs, and where the most outlandish ideas can gain traction, and sometimes it rears its ugly head in the most unexpected places, catching even the most seasoned internet users off guard. Take, for instance, the seemingly innocuous comment section of a YouTube channel, a place where viewers come to share their thoughts, engage in discussions, and sometimes just to leave a quick note of appreciation. You know, that digital space beneath a video where viewers share their thoughts, opinions, and the occasional recipe for sourdough bread. It's a microcosm of the internet itself, filled with a mix of the mundane and the extraordinary. Well, on Matt Taylor TV, amidst the usual great video and thumbs-up messages, lurked a comment from one Jahfar Blackman, a name that would soon become infamous among the channel's followers. A comment so utterly bizarre, so blatantly detached from reality, that it stopped scrollers dead in their tracks. It was the kind of statement that made you do a double take, wondering if you had somehow misread it. Jahfar Blackman, with an air of absolute certainty, accused Matt Taylor of some truly heinous acts. Acts that, if true, would have serious implications, but were so outlandish that they defied belief. We're talking accusations so outlandish, so demonstrably false, that you'd be forgiven for thinking Jahfar Blackman had stumbled out of an alternate dimension where facts are optional and libel laws are nothing more than a distant myth. It was a narrative straight out of a bad science fiction novel. It was the kind of comment that could make you laugh, cry, or possibly consider taking up interpretive dance. Anything to avoid confronting the sheer absurdity of it all. The emotional roller coaster it induced was nothing short of spectacular, but beneath the surface of this digital head-scratcher lay a far more troubling question. How could someone believe something so demonstrably untrue? What led Jahfar Blackman to post such a comment with such conviction? This, dear reader, is where our story takes a decidedly unfunny turn, because the implications of such beliefs go far beyond a single YouTube comment. Because Jahfar Blackman's comment, as outlandish as it was, wasn't an isolated incident. It was part of a larger pattern, a symptom of a much bigger issue plaguing the digital world. It was a single drop in a vast, churning ocean of misinformation, a stark reminder that in the digital age, falsehoods can spread faster than a Kardashian wedding announcement. And just like those viral moments, they can capture the public's imagination in dangerous ways. And just like that infamous family, misinformation can have very real consequences. It can shape public opinion, influence behavior, and even alter the course of events in the real world. It can erode trust, fuel division, and even incite violence. The ripple effects of a single false statement can be profound and far-reaching. In short, it's a problem. A big, complex, and deeply troubling problem that we all have a stake in addressing. A big, hairy, internet-shaped problem. One that requires vigilance, critical thinking, and a collective effort to combat, because in the end, the truth matters. So, what exactly were these outrageous accusations leveled against the unsuspecting Matt Taylor? Buckle up, because it's about to get ridiculous. You won't believe the extent of the absurdity we're about to dive into.
Matt Taylor is running a clandestine Ponzi scheme involving endangered sea turtles. Yes, you heard that right. Sea turtles of all things.
Okay, maybe not those exact things, but you get the idea. These weren't just casual fibs. They were elaborate, meticulously crafted, if utterly nonsensical narratives designed to paint Matt as some sort of Machiavellian mastermind. The kind of stories that make you question the sanity of the storyteller. It was the kind of stuff that wouldn't look out of place on a conspiracy theory corkboard, complete with red string connecting photos of Matt to pictures of Bigfoot and the Queen of England. Imagine the wildest conspiracy theory you've ever heard, and then multiply it by 10. And the truly baffling part? Jahfar Blackman presented these claims not as speculation, not as mere rumors, but as cold, hard facts. They spoke with such conviction that you almost wanted to believe them, despite the sheer lunacy of it all. It was as if they'd stumbled upon the digital equivalent of the Rosetta Stone, a document so irrefutably true that to question it would be akin to denying the existence of gravity. They acted like they had unearthed some hidden truth that the world needed to know. But as any sentient being with even a rudimentary grasp of reality could tell you, Jay Blackman's claims were about as credible as a politician promising to lower taxes and increase spending. It was a masterclass in the art of making something out of nothing. They were, to put it bluntly, complete and utter balderdash, the kind of nonsense that makes you laugh out loud and shake your head in disbelief, and yet, there they were, splashed across the digital landscape for all to see. These wild tales spread like wildfire, capturing the imagination of anyone willing to entertain such absurdities. Which begs the question, where on earth did Jay Blackman dig up these fantastical tales? What kind of sources could possibly lead to such outlandish conclusions?
I have no idea where they got this nonsense. It's like they pulled it out of thin air. It's as if they were on a mission to create the most bizarre story imaginable.
Well, as with most things on the internet, the answer lies down a rabbit hole of questionable sources and questionable characters. It's a tangled web of misinformation and half-truths, spun by those with a penchant for the dramatic and the absurd. Now, you might be thinking, surely no one could possibly believe these outlandish accusations, and you'd be right for the most part. Most reasonable people, upon encountering Jay Blackman's comment, would likely do one of three things: roll their eyes, shake their heads, or report the comment for being demonstrably bonkers. But Jay Blackman wasn't most people. Jay Blackman, it seemed, possessed an almost superhuman ability to suspend disbelief, to embrace the absurd with the unwavering conviction of a flat earther clinging to a globe. It was a level of certainty that bordered on the unnerving. It was as if Jay Blackman had stared into the abyss of misinformation, and the abyss had winked back, whispering sweet nothings of conspiracy and intrigue. And in that moment something clicked. A switch flipped. Logic went out the window, and blind faith took the wheel. It's important to remember that Jay Blackman wasn't alone in their delusion. Misinformation, like a particularly nasty strain of the flu, has a way of spreading from person to person, infecting minds and warping perceptions. And in the case of Matt Taylor, the virus had spread far and wide, thanks in no small part to the tireless efforts of a few key players. These weren't your run-of-the-mill internet trolls, mind you. These were seasoned veterans of the misinformation wars, individuals who had honed their craft to a fine art, transforming lies into gospel and speculation into stone-cold truth. Brian Hurl and Den Tarragon, two names that will live in infamy, or at least in the annals of internet absurdity. These two individuals have carved out a niche for themselves in the vast, chaotic world of online misinformation, becoming almost legendary figures in their own right. These weren't just casual purveyors of misinformation. They were wholesalers, supplying a steady stream of half-truths, distortions, and outright fabrications to anyone gullible enough to listen. Their influence was pervasive, reaching into the darkest corners of the internet and beyond, shaping narratives and twisting facts to suit their own agendas.
Matt Taylor is involved in something big, folks. You won't believe what we've uncovered. This is the kind of revelation that could shake the very foundations of what you think you know.
Brian, with his penchant for dramatic pronouncements and his uncanny ability to make even the most mundane statements sound like pronouncements from the Book of Revelations, had amassed a devoted following who hung on his every word. His charisma was undeniable, and his followers were fiercely loyal, often spreading his messages far and wide.
I'm not saying Matt Taylor is guilty, but have you ever wondered why he's always so secretive? It's these little seeds of doubt that can grow into full-blown conspiracy theories.
Den, on the other hand, was a master of the subtle dig, the insinuation, the carefully worded rumor disguised as an innocent question. Together, they were a force to be reckoned with. A misinformation dream team capable of turning even the most level-headed individual into a frothing conspiracy theorist. Their tactics were insidious, playing on people's fears and uncertainties. They were, to put it mildly, bad news. Their influence was like a virus, spreading rapidly and infecting the minds of those who were susceptible to their brand of sensationalism. And it was within the digital halls of their respective online empires that Jay Blackman had apparently stumbled upon the truth about Matt Taylor. This discovery was poised to send shockwaves through their communities.
In my latest live stream, I'll reveal everything about Matt Taylor. Stay tuned. This is the kind of content that keeps viewers on the edge of their seats, eagerly awaiting the next bombshell.
Brian, in his signature bombastic style, had dedicated an entire live stream to exposing Matt, presenting a laundry list of accusations with the confidence of a televangelist promising salvation. His delivery was compelling, making it hard for viewers to look away.
Just asking questions here, but could Matt Taylor be hiding something? You decide. This approach allowed viewers to feel like they were part of the investigation, piecing together clues and drawing their own conclusions.
Den, meanwhile, had taken a more understated approach, dropping cryptic hints and leading questions in his videos, allowing his viewers to connect the dots themselves and arrive at the inevitable conclusion. Matt Taylor was up to no good. His method was more subtle but equally effective, creating an air of mystery and intrigue. But why, oh why, would anyone believe these two over, actual evidence? Well, that's where things get really interesting. The power of suggestion, the allure of a good story, and the human tendency to seek out information that confirms our existing beliefs all play a role in this complex web of misinformation.